Good morning, everybody. Welcome along to FUTV and welcome along to the paper round where we look through all of the Sunday morning headlines, delve into the main stories that's going on this Euro Sunday. Obviously, you can imagine, I've got the paper right here with me. It's all about England. We will talk about England. We'll talk about that team, England fans. We'll talk about who Trent should be in the side, obviously. But, of course, before we get to the nitty-gritty of the football, it is all Manchester United headlines again. What's going on? Erik ten Hag's contract is very close. Romano has been reporting that. We've got a bidding war for Mason Greenwood. Do you agree with the demands of Ten Hag? I'm going to ask you questions on that as well. And, of course, we'll have a look through all of the other headlines that are hitting the papers this Sunday morning. Welcome along. Please give the video a like and do subscribe to Forever United TV. It is, yes, another set, a different one. It is Euro-themed. And if you guys are interested about what is going on here, then get into the live chats. There is a pinned comment right at the top there with the link to the watch along later. Sorry, I lost my voice then for a second. To the watch along later for England on Tifo, our new platform, something we've been building for watch alongs along with everybody in the membership section. It's open to everybody now, so get in there. Download it. It's not even a download, actually. Just go straight to the site. Simple login, and away you go. You can join us for the watch along. So it's England later, the big one, 8 o'clock tonight. But we've got 2 shows on Forever United TV to get through before we get to that. So let's get into the paper round. And what is going on today in the morning papers? Obviously, as you can see, I've got the morning paper there for the Daily Mail, and it is all about England. It is full on England vibe. By the way, everybody, all the dads out there, happy Father's Day. Hope you're having a great day. Hope you're getting out and about for some brunch or lunch or maybe a bit of late dinner before the game. I hope you're being looked after by the family and the kids. Have a fantastic one, everyone, and hopefully England can make it an even better one later. In terms of Manchester United and where we're actually at, I can see all of your comments coming in. There was a bit of a debate going on already regarding Erik ten Hag and what his demands are in this so-called new contract. How long's the contract going to be? It's reported it's a 2-year extension, so another 2 onto the 1 he's got, which means that Ten Hag will be at Manchester United for another 3 years, including the season coming. And what's included in that is Erik ten Hag's demands. Now, there's a lot of reports. The Sun have reported this. The Daily Mail have gone on this morning as well. And among a few others, and it is all over social media as well, about what Erik ten Hag has demanded from Manchester United and the new structure and regime before he even puts pen to paper. And that would be the 3 things I'm going to go through now, and I want your opinions on all of them. They have been talked about before. Nothing really new within these 3 demands, but one interesting, very interesting one, which I'm going to leave till last. The first one was quite clearly, get rid of Jadon Sancho unless he apologises. Jadon Sancho is not going to apologise to Erik ten Hag. He's had a year to do it, and obviously he's standing his ground. We've seen the social media posts. We've seen the extra stories that have come out on The Athletic that have been snipped and put out and clipped onto social media as well. Laurie Whitwell with that story regarding how it all came to a head with Sancho and Erik ten Hag, and it looks like it was pro Ten Hag from The Athletic. So if you're Jadon Sancho, we spoke about this the other night, you're not really going to go along with that, are you? We've been talking about Jadon Sancho and the situation, how it can be mended. It looks impossible to be mended. So I think this is why we have heard the stories regarding Jadon Sancho being up for sale. He's going by any means. He has to be out of the football club if Ten Hag is going to be the manager. That's one of Erik ten Hag's demands, according to the papers and the reports. And that's what I think that's what everybody expected, to be honest, didn't it? I mean, you're not going to be thinking that Ten Hag wants Sancho back. I mean, if, like he said in that piece from Laurie Whitwell, got an apology off Jadon Sancho, he made 2 attempts to sit down with him and get the apology off him and go over everything, and nothing happened. Nothing came of it, so obviously we're in the situation we're in now still, and Jadon Sancho is not going to be coming back to Manchester United. We talked about problems of getting rid of him, and I think that's something that Ten Hag has just said, look, you deal with that. So in his demands for the contract, he would say, look, I've got issues with a certain player. Happy to make amends, but he has to come and apologise to me first. I don't want anyone backing him. I don't want anything coming out regarding him. So don't expect Jadon Sancho's side of the story to even come out while he's employed by Manchester United. Ten Hag is going to be demanding that it is all about him and how he goes forward with Manchester United, with nothing said behind his back or nothing said that's going to sort of dent his not ownership but control of Manchester United, how he is as Manchester United manager and how he has handled this football squad, because there's a lot of debate on how he has done. So he doesn't want any of it coming out. So it's Stumpske for Mr. Jadon Sancho. He won't want anything coming out Ten Hag, and he's told Ineos that has to happen. So let's see what happens with that. Obviously, we know that Jadon Sancho is not going to apologise, so we can move past that and go, well, yes, of course, no Jadon Sancho this season for Manchester United. That was an obvious one for Ten Hag. On to number two. Number two was Benny McCarthy's contract. Now, you can think it's a nothing thing. You can think, well, there's better forwards out there that could be better coaches. Better forwards or better playing careers don't necessarily mean better coaches, better managers. We know that, for God's sake. Like, we've seen the best of the best when they were playing absolutely fail when they've come to managing. Our coaching is pretty much the same. So Benny McCarthy is seen and really liked amongst Manchester United players, staff, everyone at the football club. I know this. I've seen it up close and personal. The media love him. He's always open for talking. The players love him. Everyone's got a great relationship with him. He was an all right striker. I'm not going to say he's the worst, but a lot of people have said, look, 2 years with Benny McCarthy, and look, we've had our two worst goal-scoring seasons pretty much in Premier League history, near enough. So are we going to change it? What is it? But I think what United are trying to do and what Ten Hag is trying to do now is build that professionalism around Manchester United. The culture is changing at United. It's like, for instance, the Tom Heaton situation, a new contract for him at Manchester United. Then you hear that he's now been taken to go to Germany with the England squad by Gareth Southgate. Like, if you've met Tom Heaton, you'll know exactly what I'm saying. And I heard Gary Neville talking about him on the overlap as well. And he made a joke, Gary Neville, about, God, that must be the best job in the world, being paid just to walk around and travel the world and talk to players and kick a ball into a keeper's hands and keep him warm while taking in the atmosphere and everything. It's a fantastic contract, isn't it? But what Gary Neville then said and went into was that Tom Heaton was actually a top lad, great to have around the football club. And if you're changing a culture and you want professionalism within, he's a great man to have around. And I think Ten Hag is sort of going down that line with Benny McCarthy. Very similar model. He's surrounding himself with pros. Not the best, but off the field, the best that you could probably get in terms of attitude, building a rapport with the players, being likeable, approachable. It's all massive. And you know what? If you surround yourself in that environment, then you start to build that new culture. And I think that's where Ten Hag is probably going with that side of things. So, yeah, really interesting to see that. Not surprised by it at all. Either one of them two. He wants one with a new contract in the staffing situation. He wants Jadon Sancho completely gone out of Manchester United unless he signs that contract. Number 3 of his demands, this was the big one. He wants Ineos to have no say whatsoever when it comes to playing style. Now, this is where everybody's going to have a problem. By the way, guys, please give the video a like. Let's get up to that 100 mark. Almost there, only not even 10 minutes in, so keep them likes coming in, guys. And get your comments in. I'm going to come to them in a minute as well regarding the new set and if you're liking the setup and everything. So please do get onto that like button. But yeah, not involving Ineos or not allowing them to be involved in any way, shape or form in the playing style. Now, we obviously heard about his sort of plus point on the review from Ineos about taking advice from Jason Wilcox. I still don't think it happened. There's no way that Ten Hag is taking advice in the biggest game of his career, which it was, because it was a pretty much do or die. The fact that he won the FA Cup final pretty much kept him in a job at Manchester United. So I look at it and I go, this one definitely is proving that Jason Wilcox definitely had nothing to say for me. My own opinion, I look at it, and if this is a demand of Ten Hag's, like he said all along, and this is one of my problems I've had with Ten Hag, while thinking this is still, actually, no, I don't think it's a good one at all. I don't like it. I want Ineos to set the philosophy. I don't want the manager to set the philosophy and the playing style. He needs to fall into line with Ineos. I don't understand how Eric Ten Hag holds all of the cards here and has come out with all the demands. He's lucky to still be in the bleeding job. We all know this. Even if you're a Ten Hag fully behind Ten Hag type of United fan, you know he's lucky after the season we've just had. And the football was shite. Come on. It was poor, wasn't it? It really was. So I'm not behind this one at all. The first two, got no problem with them, Eric. Third one, Ineos do need to implement a style of play, a philosophy, how they want Manchester United to move forward. That needs to happen. Otherwise, when Ten Hag goes, if he does go, that is, I'm not saying he is, God, don't jump on me for that, God, but they need to know what type of manager to come in. Ten Hag has to fall in line with Ineos. It's not the opposite way round. He cannot be bullish in giving these demands out at all. He was very up himself in the interviews after the cup final, as he should be. You'd just beaten Manchester City. I expect that from a manager. I expect him to be right up there and confident within his own abilities and everything like that, straight off the back of a win. But even if Ten Hag looks back on the season, and he will admit it himself, he's never going to come out and say it, but he will know inside himself that he failed last season for Manchester United. Like, the one trophy saved him, and he knows that he needs to do more. So really, he needs to knuckle down and concentrate on what he can do on the pitch in line with Ineos' philosophy for me. You're not going to get this new structure come in and get the people that are coming in above Ten Hag and them that have any say on how Manchester United move forward. It's not going to happen. So you're looking at these three things that Ten Hag is demanding according to the reports. And if the reports are right in the first place, but we did hear that as soon as Ten Hag was announced, even Fabrizio said it as well, about Ten Hag already going in a little bit strong on Ineos and demanding certain things and not just lying down for Ineos to dictate what is going to happen going forward. I think Ten Hag wanted to go in there and make sure that he still had an element of control in what was going on at Manchester United, especially in that changing room. I'm all for Ten Hag being in control of the players and everything that goes on at Carrington. We've said this many a times, but I don't like the way that he's talking regarding Ineos having no say. Ineos need to come in. So Jim needs to, with his people, figure out how he wants Manchester United to play football. And Ten Hag has to fall in line with that. He's not the biggest player here, Ten Hag. He's not the biggest man at the table. Ineos need to make sure that they have full control over Ten Hag up until that training ground. There needs to be a style of play. Ten Hag needs to play that way, and they will support him in giving him the best players to get that style of football out on the pitch and make United successful. That's where we're at with what Ten Hag is talking about. I'm going to come into the chat and get in with you guys and what you're saying. Lee says, the formation notably changed considering how stubborn he was. I'm not convinced it was down to him. I honestly don't see the point in having a manager who is not going to have full control over team selection and players playing in certain positions. Style of play should be a general thing that everyone gets involved in. But what is the point in having a manager if you're going to be told where to play certain players when them people have been in the door 5 minutes? It's an absolute farce. It really is. Keep them likes coming in, guys. Almost at that 100 mark. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this morning. Paper round is on. We are going to get into England stuff and everything like that as well. We're going to talk Mason Greenwood next, but I'm still into your comments regarding Ten Hag. Set-piece coach, worse in the Premier League for defending and attacking, says Sim. Eric Ten Hag doesn't have a playing style, so we are screwed. Ten Hag has said constantly all the way through last season that Manchester United do have a playing style. They do. Everyone can see it. This is one of my arguments against him, which was, well, no, we can't see it, Eric. It's really bad. The football's crap. And everyone's taking a piece out of us and we're leaking goals for fun. And the stats at the end of the season prove that. Conceding more goals than we ever had and conceding more shots and chances than we ever had in our Premier League history. So, yeah, the playing style isn't clear for everyone to see. And we stumbled upon or found something in the last few games of the season, which weren't great, by the way, because Newcastle should have had 4 or 5. Brighton should have had 3 or 4. We should have lost them last 2 games pretty much if you're balancing it out on stats, which Ten Hag usually does do. And obviously the final was the one game I thought we actually deserved to win. And we did. Like, we took our chances and we schooled Pep. Ten Hag schooled Pep. Not Wilcox, Ten Hag. So take that, channel that, and try and figure out how to use that team going forward. But we cannot play the way we did against City every single game. That game isn't going to come around every single week, and you're not going to be able to play your Al Pacino build-up videos before the game every single week. You need to have a philosophy and a style of play that the players know every single week. When we're playing smaller teams, when we're expected to attack teams, there has to be a different style. And that's what we didn't have last season. We turned up to some big games when we needed to. And that was out of sheer desperation and salvaging a season. The FA Cup was the saviour last season. I'm still not convinced by Manchester United's style of play. And I'm hoping to see a change this season. So let's see what you've got, Eric. And then we'll take it from there and judge properly after a full summer, hopefully a good summer from Ineos, and a bit more back in with players coming in as well. Don't forget, guys, the pinned comment and in the description is the link to the watch along later for the England game. Hopefully you guys can join me. Just click on that at the top, click on the link, follow the simple instructions, and you're in, and you'll be with me here in this set watching England later on tonight. Back to your comments. I know people get on Ollie's case, but when we had a Stonker as a manager, we scored plenty of goals and actually had some bigger score lines in our favour. Then he left, and last 2 seasons have been shocking. That's from Louise. Yep. Facts, Adam. It's not sustainable. No, Adrian, it's not. I am not confident in this manager, but willing to see where it goes. New season, new hope, new dreams. Yeah, it does. It does. We have to get behind the obvious, which is Ten Hag now in place at Manchester United. We have to be behind the manager. We've got no other choice. And that's what we are as football fans. That's what we're going to do. We can complain and hope and praise at the same time, though. And we give our opinions as we do. And we all know what we watched last season. It wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough in the whole, and we need more consistency. That's the key to all of this. So let's just see what he comes up with the players that come in this summer. Talking on to the next subject in terms of players this summer that could be out of the door, and that is obviously the one we just spoke about, Jadon Sancho, but the obvious clear one is Mason Greenwood, whose situation has escalated more, and that is that we know Juventus are favourites. Like, you can see the story going across the bottom of your screen now, guys. Like, Juventus with add-ons, a full package deal has been reported from Gazzetta dello Sport that 40 million, Juventus, permanent sale, Mason Greenwood gone. But Mason Greenwood's camp is pushing for a permanent move to Spain, and clubs have probably got wind of that. Agents probably put noises out to different clubs, and it's now looking like Valencia have made a concrete bid, fixed fee, 25 million quid for Mason Greenwood. Now, straight away, it's not enough. United's target was 40 million. With the add-ons, that's what we're sort of getting from Juventus, but still, you're not going to get all of that money straight away. He's going to have some performances, and he's going to have to hit some achievements to get that full price. Obviously, with the 20%, which is going to Getafe, you need as much money as you possibly can. Whether or not this is 25 million straight down, I doubt it. It'll be in installments from Valencia as well. But it is official, it is concrete, and this is a deal that Manchester United are considering. They have to consider it, obviously, because it's a player that's not going to do anything for United. And the sooner we can get him off the books and use that money towards our own players coming in this season, then the better. But if I was a betting man, I'm going for Juventus or Valencia. Obviously, the player wants to stay in Spain, but United want to sell to the highest bidder. So United realistically are hoping that someone else comes in. Now, we've heard Benfica have been interested in Mason Greenwood, which is good for us. Definitely, if we are looking at João Neves, we can sort of soften the blow there. But Juventus so far are the biggest bidder, according to Gazzetta, and the package that they're offering. Now, this is the same Juventus that we spoke about last night that were only willing to offer a loan for Jadon Sancho and wanted Manchester United to contribute to his wages. If Ten Hag's demands are coming in and that Jadon Sancho is out of the football club, Ineos have to, if they agree to this and Ten Hag signs this new deal and they are fully backing him, Jadon Sancho cannot still be on Manchester United's books, even if it's a loan. They have to get rid of him because this is a big statement of backing a manager. He's gone and the money's been spent on bringing someone else in. That's a statement. If he's still here and he's on loan, yes, he's out of the way, but he's lingering around. He's still there. And that I still think is a problem for Manchester United to deal with. And while he's still on the books, the constant questions are going to keep coming. Like we've seen after the Champions League final. Jada, we'll see you on the in the Manchester United tour of the United States. All this awkwardness still lingers around with Jadon Sancho until he's officially gone. And I mean gone, away from the football club, sold, not on Manchester United's books. A loan for Juventus just does not work. So it's interesting how they're looking to spend money on Mason Greenwood, who's in a worse situation, you could say. But obviously, only loan Jadon Sancho. Weird scenario right now. But again, we said this the other night. Juventus just looking to take full advantage of Manchester United right now. And I do think they are taking the mick a little bit with the offers that they're putting in. But hey, you look at it and you go, both of them players are not going to contribute to Manchester United next season. What are my realistic targets for getting rid of both of them players? Honestly, if you ask me now, I think Mason will go for about 35 million. I think Jadon Sancho is really awkward. I wouldn't be surprised if it was another loan. But then I know Manchester United will be scared of Jadon Sancho just being awkward and making this contract run down because he can do. He doesn't have to go anywhere. And while he's on that money and he's fallen out with United, and United have shown no signs of support for him, and this has been proven in this article that's come out from The Athletic that United have allowed to come out, with all of the stories of how Jadon Sancho was behaving in training and it being fully on Ten Hag's side. Jadon Sancho is probably the angriest man on the planet right now. So I can see Jadon going cheap. I can just see the club having to succumb and him leaving the football club by any means. But I think maybe Jadon Sancho, Mason Greenwood, we scraped together 70 million for the pair of them. You've got to take it and run and just draw a line under that nightmare. Don't make the same mistake again. It's your fault you're in this mess. Don't expect other clubs to try and bail you out of it. That's the situation with both Jadon Sancho and Mason Greenwood. Unfortunately, Ineos, who had nothing to do with it, are the ones that are having to deal with it. Is the way it is. You bought United, you knew what you were buying. Get these players out, get that money spent, and let's get this squad even stronger with players that are going to contribute and are going to probably listen to Ten Hag. You know what I mean? It doesn't come any more awkward than them two situations for United. And I think the priority needs to be both of them two out of the football club, but still nothing we're saying there's concrete bid, but nothing far down the line yet with either one of them players. Into the chat we go. Next season, no sympathy for him, no excuse. He must deliver or leave my club. That is on Eric Ten Hag. I think that one from Venetia. Welsh Red, Sancho shouldn't even be allowed anywhere near Old Trafford ever again. Robert says, Stu, I am stopping at... Oh, he's stopping at the garage for something. Nice one. How does someone loan your player? You pay most of his wages and they get 20% of a sell-on. Richard Arnold. That's all I'm going to say, Sim. That was the 20% sell-on, and the reason behind it was a clause put in, or United's gesture to Getafe for taking Mason Greenwood and allowing him to play in one of Europe's top leagues. That was the stipulation. That was why Manchester United gave Getafe a 20% sell-on. Like, bend over. And seriously, like, oh my God, I'm so happy that is not the structure at Manchester United anymore. Oh, God, it's embarrassing, isn't it? But yeah, thank you, Richard. See you later, mate. Go and have a pint down the pub with some fans somewhere. And Murto, oh my God, get back to youth academy level development where you was before, doing a good job, mate, because you don't belong as a director of football. It's just too much for you, quite clearly too much for you. And I'm happy that Manchester United are getting the right people in place for this to hopefully never happen to bleed again, because it's embarrassing. A super chat in from Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Hope you're doing well. Not wishing to tell tales, but some people refuse to believe the 20% sell-on clause is active in the summer window. For what's the truth? Well, The Athletic are the ones that put it out there. So if you don't believe it, then The Athletic are wrong, because that's where the story came from. I was talking about this a while ago. I'm guessing some other people have been talking about and thinking it's complete and utter bullshit. Probably the same people that thought financial fair play was a myth, but now he's hot topic and he's making plenty of content for him. Who knows? When you're desperate to sell players, you can't blame teams for taking advantage with offers. Lee, 100% agree with you, mate. And that's a creation of our own stupidity. We can't complain. I mean, Ineos probably can, but they knew the situations. They researched Manchester United before putting the money in, so they knew the situation with Greenwood. So Jim talks about it. They knew the situation with Jadon Sancho. They've interviewed all the players. They've interviewed Ten Hag, the staff. They know about it. They knew what was coming this summer. So it's on them. United's old problems are Ineos's problems. Stick it. You know what I mean? Don't complain about it, which they're not. So to the credit, let's see what they do, first of all. And do you know what? I'm not even going to judge Ineos on Sancho and Greenwood. I'd love to see, and I can't wait to see what they do with the situations, but I'm not going to judge them from the misdemeanors and the ineptitude of the old regime. You can't judge Ineos on that. It's not their fault. We'll see what they get out of it, and then we can sort of have a discussion on that. But still, you got to look at what Ineos are doing with everyone else. I mean, I'm interested to see how much we get for Lindelof and Wan-Bissaka. Obviously, Palestre, Hannibal. I expect all four of them to go as well as Sancho and Greenwood. And then I'd like to see Casemiro as well, like Casemiro and Eriksen. There's another two more players there. So from the release list, we've got a few have already gone, big names, but it'd be interesting to see how many the total is in that out column before the end of this window. I'd be very, very interested to see where that goes. Please do hit the like button, guys. Well over the 100 mark now. Thank you, everybody. Loving it. Well over 400 in the room with us as well. Please make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you're tuning in. This isn't the normal set. This is a Euro themed set. It is the Euros. We're right in the middle of it. We are doing watch-alongs on our TIFO platform. If you're wondering what that is, there is a link in the description and a pinned comment with the link in the chat, live chat right now. Click on that. You'll know what it's about. You'll see my schedule of all the watch-alongs we're doing on TIFO. Get involved. There is more to it. And the reason we're doing it on there is because it brings in the community and gives you guys a chance to have a proper say and get involved in the watch-along. Like, actually get on the video yourselves and have a chat with me directly in front of everyone. There's loads going on with it. We're building the best watch-along platform for everyone to get involved in. And this is the way forward, guys. Trust me, it is brilliant. Anyone who's already done it, just ask them in the chat. Ask all the mods and the members that have been involved in some of them as well. We're live at 7:30 tonight for the England game, UK time. So join us for that one. I'm kitted out, ready to go. Come on, England. We'll get onto the England stuff in a minute as well, guys. Ed Barrett, Getafe allowed Mason to regain match fitness and advertise the fact that he was still a good player. If we tried to sell him fresh off his layoff, he would have sold him for pennies. Yeah, like, they give Mason Greenwood a chance. 20%, that's a big chunk of change, though. That shouldn't have even been put in there. Getafe were lucky to get a player of Greenwood's quality. That's the situation. This all came about because Arnold thought that Greenwood was going to come straight back to United. If he had any sense, he would have known the backlash that was coming from the United fans in the first place and sort of negotiated a deal for him to go out and loan without even putting out that stupid statement which made everything 20 times worse. Put United in that desperate situation where this 20% clause came in. And like the comment said there just a minute ago, clubs are going to take advantage of a situation of another club. They don't care. They're going to do what they can for the best for their club, for the best of their club. And if that means that it's going to be something that we don't like as United fans or any particular fan of a club that's being taken advantage of, then so be it. So what? Like they don't give a shit. So yeah, moving on. Obviously, it's England's. We've got the papers here. I've got the Daily Mail ready to raw. I mean, you look at that England squad right now, and there's no excuse at all, is there? What was it? Europeans Golden Boot, a Champions League player. We just got the best of the best. When you look at the seasons, the likes of Harry Kane, Bellingham, Phil Foden. I mean, Bellingham's Real Madrid's most important player. Phil Foden, like Young Player of the Year. Like Harry Kane, leading goal scorer in Europe. There's so much in this England squad, yet no one's fully confident. I'm not confident. The debate around England's midfield, we're talking about bringing together a defence at the moment, a makeshift defence. And this is the inconsistency of England, and this is the problem I've got with it, is like we're talking about makeshift defence and desperate to get a defence together, taking a player that's not played for 3 or 4 months in Luke Shaw, just so we've got someone on the left. Unknown fitness of John Stones, who apparently now is fit and training normally. Like an unused centre-back partnership in a major tournament. And then we're bringing one of them defenders into midfield in Trent Alexander-Arnold. Have we not got the best midfield on the planet right now? And we're bringing the defender in because we cannot figure out a system, and we're going to need some desperate Hail Marys to try and get England over the line. Our best passer of the ball apparently is Trent Alexander-Arnold. No, I'm sorry, I disagree. Like Trent, yes, he can play a good ball. He can ping in a great ball from the wide areas. Central midfield, we've got central midfielders for that. Why are we faffing around? I understand we've got to be adaptable, you've got to be dynamic, and you've got to have that little bit of an edge when it comes to a tournament. But straight away, it shouts out to me for England that we don't know what setup we've got. And yeah, Trent might work, but hey, do you know, we've got like Conor Gallagher, we've got Kobbie Mainoo, Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden. We've got all of these great midfield. Well, not all. Some are great. Some are very, very good. We've got all of these midfielders for centre midfield, and we're playing fullback. We're playing a right back in midfield. Like, yeah, I understand Trent and players can adapt to positions, and sometimes you find a new position as you move on in age. But to me, England have got enough in midfield to not move Trent in there. Should we not be just looking at playing players in their right positions? Again, it just shouts out complete disorganised. It's not disorganised, sorry. It just shouts out the unknown, like desperate to me. And I fully expect the England game to be one of them typical opening England games in a tournament. And that being that, just get through, get the win if we can, and we move on from there. England always get better as games go on. So I don't expect this to be a absolute goal bonanza or a fantastic England performance. I think it will be solid, structured in a way where we don't want to give too much away, because Serbia can cause England problems going forward. If we're not switched on and we have an Iceland game, Serbia will punish us. So I expect that. I expect England to get the win, like with definite favourites. I don't expect it to be a great performance, and that's the problem with England. I think we play better against better teams. And when we get stubborn sides coming up against us, I think that's the problem we've got. I honestly feel like Southgate still doesn't know what his best team is. And if you go into a tournament not knowing that, then it's a disadvantage. I guarantee you that Deschamps will know exactly what he's doing with his French squad and what the Portugal side is going to be. It's like Nagelsmann knows his best German side. England... Can anyone tell me what the best England side is? Can you narrow down the exact best England side right now? I don't think anybody can. I don't think we can give the best England side, because there's too many. It's a crazy thing to say, but there is too many good players fighting for the same position, and sometimes you end up squeezing players into the wrong position just to get them in the side. England's biggest problem, which has been for years, decades in fact, is playing the best players instead of playing the best team. That's always been the case. And I just feel like there's never been that full balance. Sometimes when it's been a team of very good players, they perform better. There's players that fit in certain positions. If there's someone else in the way, they have to sit it out on the bench. Keep it simple. Honestly, I don't know. But guys, you tell me how you feeling about all of this. And what do you think of Gareth Southgate? Do you feel like this is it? Is this Gareth Southgate's last tournament? Go out with a high? Do you think he'll want the job? Now he knows that there's no other job available for him, I don't think, anyway, especially in the Premier League. Do you think that this is it for Gareth Southgate? One more tournament for England and then drop down to another level? Do you feel like he'll sign a new contract with England if there is nothing else available for him out there, club level? Big Bad Phil, it will be a shocking, pragmatic performance from a manager who is scared to take his waistcoat off. Big Bad Phil. Yes, we have the best in players, but our manager, best of best, who he plays and his tactics will slow how good Southgate is. Adam, do you agree? Henry, yes, I do agree that Southgate isn't the right man to take this talented squad forward. England's best team is one without Southgate as a manager, says Sim Sim. It's the same for everyone. Like, everyone just thinks that England under Southgate are just not going to do it. That's the overriding opinion going around in most of the chats. Whenever it is regarding England, it's always the same. It's Southgate's not good enough. We're not going to win a tournament with Southgate in charge. He's too pragmatic. He doesn't know his best team. He doesn't know how to get the best out of some of the best, most skillful players on the planet right now, which is true. David Meme says Bellingham is better as a central midfielder, as an 8. When he was at Dortmund, he had most of the best performances as an 8 in his early appearances for England as well. So I like him as an 8. I do. Southgate going, I think whatever worst thing about to me is that defence is our worst area, but he plays defensive. We should be going to outscore others, not hope to get back. Not hope to something. The back 4 holds out. Not hoping the back 4 holds out. Sorry, there's a typo in there, then, mate. Edward, sorry, Adam. Want England to win. Some of the best players in the world. Defense, not sure. Yep. Sorry, a few typos in them comments there, guys. Few people working on the phones, I think. That's always what happens to me as well. Keep the likes coming up. Talking of England, guys, the pin chat at the top there, if you are just joining in with the show today, is the link to the watch along later. 7:30 we start. Is on TIFO. Simple, log in, click on it, and you're away. There you go. Get involved. Get on the actual chat. Get on the screen, in fact. Get on the call in with me as we're watching the game as well. Loads of stuff going on while the game is happening as well, guys. So, yeah, do join us if you are wanting to join the TIFO watch along later on. It's going to be a fun, eventful one, let's just say that. And there'll be a few opinions flying around, as they always are with England games. You want to see it when there's a United game on. But, yeah. Late to the show, but signing from Ineos, a Dutch loan player, says it all. Expect more of the same. I'm not sure what we're on about there. Dutch loan player? Don't know. I'll have to double check on that one. What else have we got in here? Any other comments regarding England? Just scrolling through everything right now, guys. So make sure you get your comments in. This is your time. Almost at the 150 like mark, guys. Yes, Edward, I've seen the typo. Don't worry, mate. Please hit the like button. Adam, Bellingham cannot be an 8 in this team. He's not disciplined enough. I think he is, Graham. I do. Again, we're making excuses. This team can't be in this team. You pay your best players in the best positions. And I just think Bellingham is an 8, personally. I do. I think he is. I think Foden would work better further forward. I think Bellingham's stronger. I think he can carry the ball. And you know what? Even in defensive duties, going in from that 8 to 6 as well. I like him there. I do. there's so many different ways you can look at it. And I hear everyone's arguments on it. His best position is here, 8, 10, 6, wherever. There's a definite combination there for England to make this work. That's all we know. And that's all we need to know. It's up to Southgate, who's had an absolute age to get these players up to scratch and get a formation figured out. It's up to him. We can discuss it all we want. Just going through the headlines in the back of the paper now. Southgate tells England stars to seize the day as Kane targets Golden Boot. Forget personal accolades, for God's sake. Let's just get the games won and get the trophy in the bag, shall we? Time for England to settle a debate around Southgate's legacy once and for all. Talking legacies and Southgate. Turn the page over. It's more England. England will be many Germans' second team thanks to the brilliance of Kane at Bayern, says Oliver Holt. I'm not sure. I don't think so. And when it comes to international football, the Germans really don't care. I think they're all too happy to laugh at England when we underperform. I want Gareth's men to win the Euros for Harry, even if he did convince me it was time to retire. That's Danny Murphy talking there. Saka is hopeful of starting. What's your front three for England, guys? Let's move that debate onto the front three. Kane, obviously, in the middle. But how are you going wide? I've heard a lot of people replacing Saka with Palmer, playing Gordon on the left still. Some people are playing Foden on the left, Kane in the middle, and then packing out the midfield with different players, and Palmer on the right. Gordon on the left, is he best for us? He's had the better season, I think, out of most of the players on the left-hand side there. It's interesting where everyone's at with it. There's loads of different opinions on this one, but let us know what you think in terms of England's front line, guys. I'm a gambler, and I lay England every tournament. Always near favourites, and made me a decent amount. Southgate, my personal banker. There you go. Look at that. An England fan always going against England says it all. That's the confidence level of the fan base. I would only allow Ten Hag to be in charge of the traffic cones and collecting the balls after training. Nothing else, says Ashley. Ivan Toney, Foden and Palmer. So no Kane for James. Wow, no Kane. Seriously? Wow. Believe that. Surely not. Would you play Palmer over Saka? I think that's a debate. Does Palmer deserve... like Saka didn't have a great end to the season for Arsenal, did he? Does he belong in that team? It's hard to say, isn't it? Good morning to you as well, Henry. Oh, you're talking to Graham. Heaton is better than Pickford. I heard Emmy Winter talking this morning on TalkSport, bigging up Pickford. Like, I don't like him, but do you know what I mean? For England, he's not been horrendous, has he? I think he's worse for Everton, but it's another debate, isn't it? England just need to get through this first game. I think there's bigger fish to fry. It's a simple qualification. Obviously, the top three pretty much gets through to the last 16. So England will qualify. If they don't, then, oh my God, it expects the media onslaught. But they will. They will. We know they will. Anyway, guys, that is it for the paper round, everybody. That's us covered for all Manchester United news. I'll be back with an update later on before the watch-along. Back round about 6 o'clock with the game being on this evening. So back at 6 o'clock unless something breaks for United. But it does look like it's going to be a full England build-up day. Please, guys, give the video a like. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button as well. Get in the description. The link is there for the watch-along later. It's also in the chat pinned right at the top. Do come along, get supporting the new platform and get involved in the show as well. I'd love to see plenty of you in there as well. And come on, England. Let's do it. Is it coming home? I think that will be answered, well, not all fully this evening, but we'll get a good idea as to how close it's coming to home with the performance and how Gareth Southgate sets this team up. But guys, that is it. Thank you very much for joining us on this paper round, this Euro-themed paper round. Hope you like the set and everything that's going on. Appreciate all of the comments from everybody saying that they do like it and the effort that's gone into it. But yeah, that is us all finished, guys. I will see you later on at 6 o'clock for the evening show. And of course, we'll be back for the big one, the watch along later on. England against Serbia, first game, Euro 2024. Make sure you're there. Please give the video a like, share the video, and obviously hit that subscribe button as well, guys. And